Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Mountain Man Monday. I'm your host, Mr. Mountain Man, coming to you live from Western North Carolina and the beautiful mountains that surround me. Today is live stream episode number 76. Fantastic. And the date is May the 24th, 2021. I want to welcome everyone who joins me live this evening, as well as anyone who might be watching later on the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel. As always, all the live streams are archived under the live stream playlist. I hope everyone has had a great start to their week, a nice Monday, as we say here on Mountain Man Monday, starting the week out on the right foot in Monday evening, spending a little time together and having a nice chat. Things are going well here in Western North Carolina. It is beautiful. Just a great time of the year. Temperatures have been moving up in the upper 80s. Things are getting back to normal. Crowds are heavy, around town. And so things are pretty good. Let's see who has joined us. We got Living Like Larry. Hey, Larry, happy Mountain Man Monday to you as well. How are you doing this evening? Hope you are doing well. AZ Rock, hi, Mr. Mountain Man. And hello, Living Like Larry. Hope you are doing well and having a nice start to your Monday. We got Adriana LaShore. Howdy. How was your weekend? What kind of trouble did you get into? Well, I'm doing well. I hope you are. Let us know how you're doing. Not much trouble, but just jam-packed busy. I mean, you hear the same story every Monday from me. I was installing a baby gate that was convoluted and had an odd setup. That was took me all good portion of Saturday. I was continuing to wrap up some trim work and some stuff from a door that had been leaking, and that project had been lingering on. Some other stuff. It's like if you've ever seen the movie Wreck-It Ralph, there was a guy in it called Fix It Felix, and I feel like Fix It Felix on the weekends. I just do repairs. It seems like all the time, just doing stuff. So I'm actually looking forward to this upcoming weekend, which will be extended with the Memorial Day holiday to get a little bit of time off. So that will be nice. It's not the sound of cicadas. That sound you heard is for the Mr. Mountain Man Monday live stream. Got the biceps flexing. We got to get the hammer in there, and we got to give let's see if I can get it all in there. So I get a little pose going for the Mountain Man Monday. It's great to see you, Foxy Wolf. I hope you are doing well and having a nice start to your Monday. Let's see. We got a lot of other people here. I'm slow going. Bonnie's Adventures. Hi, Mr. Mountain Man. Hello to you. How are you guys doing up in the Midwest? I bet you temperatures are rising where you are. What kind of adventures have you gotten into, by the way? Like, what kinds of new things are you guys doing? Let us know. Hey, B to the fourth. BBBB. Yeah, I love it. Great. It's just great to say the name. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining us tonight, and let us know how you are doing. We got Big Daddy. We got a lot of the avatars with dogs. We always got some cool looking dogs in the avatars. I like it. Hope you're doing well. Hello to you. Let's see. We got Dr. J. Great Monday, Mr. Mountain Man and family. Yes, it is like a family here. How are you doing over there in East Tennessee? Hope things are going well in your neck of the woods. Let's see. Everybody saying howdy. Hey, Chad Lovelace. Good evening, Mr. Mountain Man. Everyone chat. Can't stay. Working the evening shift. Hopes all is well with you and everyone has a good week. You too. Hope things are going well at work and things up your way. I believe in Wisconsin. I forget if you're a Green Bay fan or not. I thought you were in Wisconsin. I might be convoluting all this information, but I've been seeing all that stuff about Aaron Rodgers and drama going on up there. But anyway, hope you're doing well and hope work is going well and you're not stressing too much and having kind of a easy evening, I hope. Traveling Hoosier alongside Blondie's Adventures. Hello or evening, everyone, to you as well. Hope you are doing well and things are going well. I see what adventures you guys are getting into. We got the redneck things off grid. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man, good to see you. You as well. Hope you are having a nice start to your week and a great Monday. Let us know how you're doing. We actually got Lily this week. Hey, Mr. Mountain Man, it's later here and I have another early morning. So I have a fabulous week. I spoke too soon. I know. At least I got on tonight before 10, I mean, what can we ask for? I got on here And I was doing pretty well today. Actually, I just had to tidy some things up around with the family. And but anyway, hope Lily's doing well. Lily had a bunch of snow up her way videos like several months ago. So I hope that's all ceased and not happening anymore. I mean, we all love the snow here in the mountains, but it's time for that to be done. I mean, it was just, let's see, the date is May the 24th, Mother's Day weekend. It was snowing in Put in Bay, Ohio, and a lot of the northern parts of the country got like that late blast of cold. So I think everybody's ready for some summertime, swimming in the pool, going through the sprinkler, going to the beach, enjoying the green mountains instead of the brown mountains. And so anyway, I hope you as well up in your neck of the woods, way up there in the Northeast, is having some nice weather as well. Blondie's Adventure says, please hit the big thumbs up. I appreciate that, Blondie. That's very nice. And all the support everybody does here on the Mr. Mountain Man channel. Let's see. Let's see. It jumps on me. It jumps on me. Did you use the Mr. Mountain Man hammer? Do you mean this weekend? No, I did not, but I did use another hammer. This is actually pretty heavy. You could use this, but I wouldn't want to mess up that beautiful, layering of the wood and all that stuff. But could you? It really acts more like a mallet. It would be more like a mallet, but that's a decoration. Let's see. Just got home from Tennessee and Florida. Florida, my old stomping grounds there in Central Florida. I did not see, what part of Florida did you guys go? 2,200 miles. Now, do you guys travel by car, RV, motorcycle? I doubt motorcycle. It's been hot. Yeah, I mean, I haven't grown up in Ohio. It just went from like nice to like blazing hot. The Midwest is notorious for, the stagnant heat of the summers. And, depending on what part of the Midwest, you can be really far from water. Maybe if not near the Great Lakes or something, and it just gets hot. I mean, the whole country gets hot, really. But I do like it, though. I do like the mountains because when you get up in elevation, as I say often, like when you go to Mount Mitchell and get this pine that's falling apart, you can cool down 10 degrees. And so 90 in Asheville, 80 at Mount Mitchell, maybe 78. It's really cool. So pun intended. Are you ready for June? Any plans yet? Well, first of all, let me get myself back in focus here. Do it slowly. Oh, did I do it? Hold on. The old Mountain Man focus trick. Let's see. Can I get it? Come on. Third time's a charm. There we go. Maybe it's like you got to pull your hand out and then go that way. It's like a little procedure. Plans for June. So one thing that's going to be happening is I think Ditda's coming to visit soon. That's my sister, for those of you that are channel regulars. She's supposed to visit. And will we do a video? I don't have a plan, but it would be certainly nice. By the way, I still have that video I shot last weekend that I'm working on the editing. Hence my busy weekend and week that's been just absolutely jam-packed. I just haven't had time, but you guys understand that. It'll be a great video when it comes out. You guys will really enjoy it. So yeah. So what's in the cards for it? Well, there's the obvious. I always here in the mountains doing things. East Tennessee, we have the annual passes to Dollywood and to Ripley, so we're always over there doing stuff. I think a little later this summer, going to get over to Myrtle again. And then beyond that, like anything spectacular, I don't have any, specific plans yet. But if something neat comes along, I certainly will let you know. I just want to enjoy the summer. It's been a really hectic, 6 or 8 months from a lot of like one-off things like around the house and some, fixing this and that. And like, which wasn't always like that. The previous year before that was much more settled. And so I want things to subside a little bit with all the rigmarole that's going on, and just relax and enjoy, even if that's here, just around town or just chilling out. That every weekend doesn't have to be packed to the brim with have to do's. I would like to have some want to do's happening in there. So that's some of the plans. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man and everyone in the chat. Was in your state the week before last, went to Crystal Coast. Very cool. Let's get educated. What is Crystal Coast? Because of all the places, let's see. North Carolina's Crystal Coast. In North Carolina, the Crystal Coast is an 85-mile stretch of coastline that extends from the Cape Lookout National Seashore, which includes 56 miles of protected beaches southwestward to the New River. The Crystal Coast is a popular area with tourists and second homeowners in the summer, like Ted and Deborah Harrison. That was directly from Wikipedia. They put your name in there. No, I'm just joking. That last part was certainly ad-lib. Did you guys have a good time? So my history with the North Carolina beaches is a big goose egg. I have, lived in Florida near the coast, and so just ample times living near the beach. Growing up, gone to Myrtle all the time. Still love Myrtle. Got a real soft spot for Myrtle Beach just because of the memories and what it has to do. And so, again, living in Florida for so long, but just didn't ever really have any experience like going to the Outer Banks and things like that. Because when I was growing up, and even in my earlier years, I was always intrigued by the entertainment value that Myrtle had to offer. And just being younger, the Outer Banks seemed kind of slow to me, like just kind of like more relaxing. And when you're like, young person or 20s or 30, you're just like, I want to be entertained. I want to do stuff nonstop. Kind of like going over, we talked about this a lot, like in East Tennessee. Do you want the hubbub of, the Parkway and Pigeon Forge, or get up in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and take a break, that kind of dynamic. So I hope you had a wonderful trip. Living Like Larry says, looks like you enjoyed Nashville. That I think was directed at somebody else. Trying to download all my Google Photos and videos. It's taking a lot longer than anticipated. Yeah, well, it depends, I guess, on how much you have backed up to the cloud. You are doing well. That's great. That's what we want to hear. But if somebody's not, and they want to let folks know how they're doing, either way, it's all good. But glad to hear that. Got caught up today with the yard work and back to the real job tomorrow. Yeah. So this evening, my plan was a nice evening, was to mow the grass, and it just didn't happen. I was kind of tired, and that's not always the case usually. So I didn't work out today, and I didn't mow the lawn today. I basically, because that trim on the door, I had to use a brad nailer to reinstall it. Leaves little holes. So I followed it up this evening with some wood filler, and I used the wood caulk on the trim against the door. And then sometime later this week, I'll sand it and then paint, and then call that a completion. Boy, I hope that thing doesn't leak. It's one of these exterior doors that really calls for a storm door. If you guys have storm doors, like the glass door, but this particular one doesn't have a lot of room for it to open and close, so I didn't want to put a second door. We actually had to clear the snow off the vehicle this morning. What? That's crazy. Of course, as far that you are in the north, I guess that makes sense. I mean, it's May, so it could still happen. I always take Monday off as well after a week vacation. That's a very smart thing to do. I remember when my parents talked about that when we were growing up, because we've all done it. Like, if you work a job and you only have a limited amount of, time off and paid time off or vacation or whatever, or even if you don't have an allotted time and you have a business or whatever the case might be, you try to maximize it and get back to work. So, you get home Sunday night at 11 p.m. and at work, 8 a.m. the next morning. That is a rough. First of all, a lot of people get the vacation blues. It's like, oh yeah, 2 days ago I was at the beach, or I was in the mountains, or I was, overseas, doing whatever, having a great time, and now I'm doing this. So some people get the vacation blues. Some people are just exhausted. Maybe you were the person that had to drive 800 miles the day before, and you hit traffic, or you went through the airport. So I think taking an extra day off, or even to the point of shortening vacation by a day, is a really smart move. Did you get your trim all done? I think I was a little late to that comment, but you heard kind of the timeline. Basically, all that's left is about 5 to 10 minutes of sanding, vacuuming up the little debris of the sanding from the spot with the filler, and then some trim painting. Thor's hammer. That's right. Mr. Mountain Man's Thor's hammer. It's exactly what that thing looks like. Is the snow normal for this time of the year? I'm going to guess, and I'm sure the comments already been added. I'm going to guess not unusual, but not usual. Just it can happen. Oh, you went to Destin, Florida with a car. Cool. You know, I went down to Destin a few times, and you know, having lived in Florida, that seemed like a different state because, you know, Destin, the water and the clarity versus the Atlantic side where we were is just night and day difference. Destin is beautiful. I'll be here listening tonight. I'll pop in and my download queue is full. Yeah, I know it's probably choking the internet, right? Yes, everybody drop any videos that you do here. This channel, my channel, is all about self-promotion, so feel free to do it. Seriously, like if you made a video, if you have something you want to, drop it in there. I mean, what's the big deal? If I don't want to read it or can't read it, or you just want to tell everybody in the chat, it doesn't bother me. It's crazy because some people really get irritated by that. People you wouldn't know. No, I'm not talking about in our community. I'm talking, you know, I watch a lot of way out, you know, YouTube that spans a lot of different genres and varieties, not just like this little mountain community of folks. So, you know, it could be somebody with a couple million subscribers. And, you know, if you put anything about your channel, some model, you know, wipe it off faster than you can, you know, click it again and they'll put you in timeout. So, but here, have at it, you know, let people know what you do. All Bundy's luggage never fit on a motorcycle. You got to get those like 70s sissy bars that you goes real high in the back, and then you can stack all the luggage. Same here with the weather. West Virginia, we don't have much of a spring. Goes from cold to hot almost overnight. You know, I never spent a lot of time in West Virginia other than driving through it, like on I-77, going from Ohio down south. But you know, wow, wonderful West Virginia used to be the slogan. I don't know if it still is. Beautiful state. And we talked about it not that long ago. I couldn't remember the name, but I remember we went to Pipestem Resort a couple times in West Virginia growing up, and that was awesome. I have no idea what it's like now. Thank you for the check. Video and audio doing a good tonight. I'm glad, as always. You know, it's like a chore to go around, turn off the internet, turn this off, turn that, turn this device off, turn that. But it seems to be working well. This is the 24th Victoria Day weekend, and yes, always have snow this time of the year. Okay, so that was really cool. I thought maybe it was kind of could be or could not be, but always get a little bit of snow. Next road trip is out west in July. Anywhere in particular? Are you going to like Grand Canyon or California, maybe Oregon or Washington, Rocky Mountains, Colorado? All of it? None of it? Hey, there's Rita. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man and everyone. Hope you are having a great start to your week and nice Monday. You know, everybody here is great to see and important. There's a handful of folks that I am actually, you know, pay attention if they're not here. Anybody, by the way, nobody has to come and anybody can do whatever they want Monday. I just, you know, I start to raise an eyebrow if somebody doesn't show up. Like Foxy didn't show up a few weeks ago and we were sending out smoke signals to make sure she was okay. But I found out this 30 that my job ends on Friday. So I guess I have my summer open. I'm not sure. I mean, the way you phrase that in the little emoji, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, I mean, usually not having the job, but some people are like, oh, that's great because, so I don't know. I hope if you're looking for one, you know, you know, you bounce back, but if not, and you wanted to be off, then hopefully that goes. But I'm sorry if that wasn't the way you desired, you know, on a tangent to that, but kind of in a somewhat similar topic. This weekend I was out, people were asking about this weekend. And when I was running some errands, I did work out on Saturday and then went to the hardware store. I went to two places that weren't open because they didn't have enough staff. It was Chipotle and Panera. Both were only accepting digital orders and had signs on that said the dining room is closed due to staffing issues. Restaurants in particular, from what I've seen from the news and my exposure locally, both go and then we went to Denny's for the first time forever, which was a huge disappointment 2 weeks ago. I forgot to mention that on last live stream. It was awful. It was was pricey. I mean, it's still the same menu, but the portions were ridiculously small. Like I was like, what happened to Denny's? Like, and they were late with the food. And there was a sign on the door that said, we knew it was going to be slow, but it was like, be patient. We don't have enough staff. Like restaurants just don't have any staff. Everybody wants to eat out. Things are going better. But there's a lot of places from fast food to sit down restaurants just don't have anybody working at them. And that's not related to the situation we just read, but just made me think about that. It seems like every single restaurant has a sign that says now hiring. So they're, for folks that are in the restaurant industry, it seems like they get their choice of where they want to work, because I was really disappointed. Actually, both days on the weekend, I wanted to get coffee at Panera, and neither day were they open. They had that sign. Due to staffing issues, our dining room is closed. Digital orders only. That's the way they could control it. So I don't know. You guys let me know if you've experienced that in your area as well. I'm 9 minutes behind, so I got to catch up so I can actually read it. We're heading down to Memphis Friday for the weekend to visit our daughter and grandsons. Be safe, and I hope you have a great time. That's way on the other end of the state in Tennessee. It is a bummer, and sorry to hear that. Yeah. Yes, safe travels for sure. Guess I was making too much money off the state. Yeah, you're too valuable. And but I hope, yes, I hope you bounce back or get something else that you desire, whatever you're looking for. We stayed on Emerald Isle, had a great time. That is awesome. I bet you it was a beautiful trip. The bad part was coming home and breaking the news to my puppy, Hokey, that I was going to be back home again, right? Yeah, no, I think it's probably, he was probably happy. Hey, Mike, hope you're doing well down there in Florida. How are things on this Monday? Blondie's taking off. Have a blessed night. Got to get some sleep. I hear that. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful week. And it sounds like you're traveling a lot. So always safe travels. Arthritis isn't good. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, I know, folks who have it, it is super painful. So I hope it's not bothering you too much. Thank you so much, Blondies. I really appreciate that. And thank you for stopping by. Take time. Take a moment this weekend to remember those that served our country or are no longer with us. Absolutely. Mountain Man Monday usually falls, obviously, on Monday, Memorial Day. And when I say usually, I was thinking more in the terms of I usually do the live stream on Mondays. And I remember last year, so next Monday will be Memorial Day, but absolutely tip of the cap and honoring all those that served and made the ultimate sacrifice for our country, for sure. Definitely. And we will revisit that next week, which is a great segue. Next week, will I have the live stream? Again, most likely. If I don't, I would announce it through the post on the YouTube channel, but I intend on having it right now. Oh, cool. By the way, the dog's name, Native American, that means abandoned, which he was. I mean, not cool that he was abandoned, but very clever to use the name like that. Dry season down here for no rain for a while. The good thing is I don't have to mow the lawn. Once June arrives, the rains will be back. Yeah, I remember, I was in a different part of Florida than you were, but it was weird because, the stereotypical afternoon rains in Florida didn't occur all the years that I lived there. Sometimes they did, but almost every day it seemed like 60-70% chance of rain, which made riding a motorcycle in the summer tough because like I used to like to, ride it around town or to work or something. And inevitably the morning could be nice, but the afternoon could be a mess. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Prayers for all who need them. Yes, Lily, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful week. And yes, get some rest. Super dry here as well. Yep, and getting a little dry here too. I knew the job wasn't going to last forever. They are doing away with temp COVID nurses for the state of Georgia. But if that's what you were doing, I mean, fantastic. What you did during that time. I'm just pulling together based on what you're saying. And again, with my limited knowledge of that industry, I would hope that you would have some ample opportunities again. How do you like the weather we've been having? I love it. I love the high 70s, low 80s. When it starts to get high 80s and 90s, I'm not as much of a fan of it, but I do like that it's warming everything up. Like pools are getting ready to open. It'll be great for, when people go to the coast and all kinds of stuff. I'm sure you find another one when you want, Foxy. If anything, like around here, many nursing jobs. Yes. Seconding kind of like what I was talking about there. Yes. Find another position too. Maybe you can go to the mountains. I'm telling you, excuse me, nursing jobs. I know a few years ago, like nursing, IT, software engineering. What else was in the top 5? There's certain jobs that just are fantastically portable to lots of different places. I'm actually on vacation this week, so I can enjoy listening and being here tonight. By the way, Roxy says hello to all. Thank you, and tell Roxy we all say hello. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Maybe you'll go to Dollywood. Maybe you guys will hang out and do some fun stuff. I mean, having a nice vacation and extend it through the Memorial Day weekend. Our Taco Bell, okay, now we're catching up to has limited hours now, can't get help. I know. And, I know there's speculation on, is this an extension of the people who lost their job and then didn't want to come back to work? Is that the problem? I can't really say factually, and I don't know if any research has been done on that. But in general, as the economy has come back and the pandemic shutdown has subsided, restaurants seem to be the ones, because they were closed for so long, that are now, having trouble finding help. If anybody has any concrete information on the source of that issue, one of the things I think I did hear that was that a cause of this, I do remember now, before I was about to break away from that comment, is that the people that got furloughed or laid off from their restaurant industry jobs last year had to find something else. And so they may have picked up a new trade or gone to a different industry or done something like that. And now they're not going back to their old jobs. They got a job at an office, or maybe they've gotten to, being a realtor, or they, whatever, retail, or just something else, anything else. And now they're not going to go back and work at that restaurant they used to work at. I've seen that Dollywood is having some major staffing issues too. The dynamic over there is, appears to be, from my knowledge, is it's a very transient in nature. Like there's if you look at the population of like Sevier County or Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, the physical, like long-term permanent population is low. It's obviously tourists and all that, but then there's a lot there, as far as I understood it, that a lot of seasonal jobs. But the dynamic that's changing there is it seems like the dead season or the off season is getting shorter and shorter each year, now being relegated to just like January and part of February. I mean, we went in the last weekend of February to the island, and it was packed. It was really busy. So, I think that the off season over there in the popular area of Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg is getting less and less, maybe helping that area that people, because I think the crux of it is when you have a seasonal job, that's very difficult for living, because how do you pay the bills if you're only getting paid 9 or 10 months a year? You got to go find another job or something like that. But if they could extend that, then people could work longer. Now, the problem with Dollywood is no matter how you slice it, even if there was no off season, you can't run roller coasters when it's 20 degrees outside. Nobody's going to get on them. There's probably safety problems with ice and all kinds of stuff. So I don't think it's just like Carowinds, this part of the country. That's why Disney World is in Florida, so that they don't have to shut down. I ate too much pizza and dozed off for a minute. That's why I showed up later than usual. I'm just like a pig. I eat and sleep. You know what? I had pizza last night. We ordered, normally I grill on Sunday, but once again, things were busy. It was like boom, 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 all these activities and all these things I was doing. And the next thing I knew, like there was no food thawed. I didn't go to the grocery because I thought we were going to have chicken, but we didn't thaw it. And I'm like, let's just get pizza. So Papa John's app is pretty cool. And after you order like $80 worth of stuff, you get $10 in credit. If you go to the specials tab, you can get takeout at a good price. Like we usually get 2 extra large pizzas or something like that, takeout, and then there's leftovers for around $19.50. So that's not too bad. Let's see. Hey, Faye is here. Hi, all. A little late tonight. Nice to have you here, Faye. And I hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Yes, restaurants cannot get staff. So it seems like everyone is, oh, having a good night and a great week. Yes, you too, BB. I hope you have a wonderful week. Yeah. So, um, I guess it's everywhere. But it was, of course, I was a little annoyed. I was like, I want my coffee, but and could I go somewhere else? The thing is, I have that subscription. I bought it from Panera that you can have unlimited coffee in the month. But I like to get I like to get an iced coffee, but I mix it with Diet Pepsi because I like the carbonated drink with a little bit of coffee in it. And you can't order it like that, like to get to go. You got to kind of do it yourself. And so since I couldn't go inside, I didn't get it. A lot of places up here in the Detroit area are having staffing issues. Big Daddy, is that restaurants or beyond that, retail as well and other places? Yeah. Mr. Mountain Man may not be hiring, but you can work for him by going and doing a thumbs up. I appreciate that, Foxy. Yes, I always appreciate all the support here on the channel. Thanks to you all. But really, at this point, we're on cruise control here on this channel and just enjoying our Monday night live streams. And as I trickle out videos, so we got a good thing going, and I appreciate all the support. Oh, let me address something. Oh, no, I'll do it in housekeeping. When I get to housekeeping, I'll address something. I have something for housekeeping. I think Cedar Point is a mess from a lack of help. Yes, that would be another one with seasonal help, kind of like to Dollywood. So it certainly is a problem. And, I listen, this, economics is not my specialty. I mean, I only stayed at a Holiday Inn last night. So, if any of you know that commercial, but I do think, and I know it's a highly debated subject, but it feels like raising the minimum wage would help this cause, because I think people are vying for high paying jobs agnostic to the industry. And that's hurting the restaurant industry that may not be able to pay as much. And then people, they get a little seasoned and then they work somewhere else. So, and it's hard to make a living at some of these places. So I don't know. But again, that's not my specialty. So, and I'm sure, I'm not trying to push any buttons. Some people get real passionate about that stuff, but it appears from a distance that we have a labor shortage here in Raleigh too. Hopefully it may change now that the governor's saying you need to show looking for work in order to collect unemployment. Yeah. And I know that's been another topic of discussion but again, that's why I was saying I didn't have the facts or hear any of the news, but some people speculate, well, maybe the COVID assistance or the pandemic assistance is people are, maybe using that in lieu of the job, but I don't know all the technicalities of that. And I'm not sure, if that's a legitimate, but I think the thing that I heard that makes the most sense is what I just said. People had to divert and get a different type of job. Okay, so the last year somebody was working in a restaurant, they couldn't do it. They went out and got another job in some industry that was, available to them, and now they're just not going back to work at that job anymore. But all I can say is, if you go out to eat, like, be patient, like everywhere, and it kind of stinks because it's not a great experience because, if you're taking the family out or you're going out and you're paying a premium, as everybody does when you go out to eat, and then you have a poor experience. I will say that that's been what we've had in like the last month. Like a lot of it seems like the cooking staff is probably short. That's probably why the portion and food quality. There's just been like one time after another, I just have not had good food. The craziest thing, guess what? One of the best out to eat meals I've had recently, the pizza last night. My grill food's better than a lot of that stuff that I've been eating. And so we've had these high priced meals, just by taking the family out, and I'm kind of like scratching my head. I'm like, that for me really wasn't that great of a meal. And I really didn't enjoy that. It's expensive. So be patient if you go out to eat. I could make one heck of a chain of clover from my yard. Hopefully it will get cut tomorrow. Oh yeah. This is the time of the year when, it starts, you can mow the grass twice a week for sure. Get some goats. That's a good idea. That'll manage it. We can't get help at our company, but that's because there are 3 other factories within a Mike tag pay $5 an hour or more. So, again, I don't know if like that's that competition, right? And so that's making it difficult. You've never heard of that coffee mix. You talking about the coffee mix I do? I came up with that myself. So I love carbonated drinks. I don't know if love is the right word. I enjoy carbonated drinks. And I like coffee. And when it's, I will put in a cup, I'll put about 4/5 Diet Pepsi and about 1/5 iced coffee with ice, obviously. And for me, it just tastes great. It tastes like a diet soda that's coffee flavored. I like it. I don't know if anybody else. Actually, it must be a thing because I think Coca-Cola came out with like a coffee Coca-Cola or something. I thought I saw a commercial. I'm like, somebody was behind me at Panera and stole my idea. So yeah. So yes, that's how I came up with that coffee drink, because I like carbonated beverages and I like coffee. So yes, restaurants, retail, the museum I work for, pretty much everyone up here are having staffing issues. I'm interested though in that feedback, just for my knowledge. We get into some great conversations here. Larry mentioned it was competitive pay. Are you all finding the same? Like in your instances, like you can't get those ex-employees back because either they went to a different trade, different industry, different store, they're getting paid more at another place. Again, getting into economics, inflation, and there's more money and people have money to spend, and so it's just this weird cycle. If anybody's into that, it can get to some interesting conversations. When I was a kid, restaurant, city park, gas station, other lower paying work, what you did in the summer, it gave work ethic. So when you go out in the world, that's right. That's what I did too. I worked my first few jobs. I was a paper boy for 6 years, back when they still did that. And you talk about building work ethic, that certainly did. I mowed grass. I worked at an import high performance place. I worked at Blockbuster Video and ended up becoming a manager there while I was still in college. So they all taught me to, a lot of little different traits. And for example, Blockbuster taught me how to communicate well. And the irony behind that is that when I worked at Blockbuster Video, it was in the heyday of rentals, where late fees were still like a big deal. This was pre-Netflix. And so imagine we're talking about Panera and Taco Bell and all these places. Imagine walking up to the counter and wanting to order your dinner. And you go up and you say, yeah, I'd like a sandwich or whatever. And they say, I'm sorry, sir. You owe us $22.89 before we make that order. Like the nature of telling somebody, because most people are budget oriented, the nature of telling somebody that they owe money before they pay can really set some people off. So you had to be able to communicate well, because people would get angry at me right away. What are you talking about? What, $22? So you're on the computer and you're legitimizing your position. You're saying, well, you rented, meet the parents. It was due back Thursday, May 1st. You returned it on, that was a new release. So it had a premium. You returned it on, Sunday, or Tuesday, May the 7th. You kept it an extra week. That was a 2-night rental at $3.99 per day, blah, 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 whatever. Well, that's ridiculous. I'm never coming here again. Why do you do this? I want to talk to the manager. Yes, sir. You're speaking to the manager. I am the manager. What can I help you with? I'd be happy to cut this in half for you. We could do stuff like that. It really taught me a lot about communication in difficult situations as an ironic part of it. I wonder if people have to do that type of thing anymore. Like when I think of going to McDonald's or Panera, well, not Panera. I don't want to knock on Panera. They're not bad, but a lot of, even the gym I go to, a lot of places, I go in there and there is a big fat non-zero customer service. Like we were taught at the video store when I worked there, every single person that came in the store, you had to say hello. You had to greet every customer into Blockbuster Video. Hello, hello. I will go up to the counter at some fast food restaurants and they just stare at me. Not, may I take your order, or how can I help you? Just like this face. And I reverse it and I almost humor myself, like finding the humor of the situation. I'm like, I'll say to them, I'm like, how you doing today? Good. I'm like, okay, I'd like, the number 3, whatever. So it's just weird. So I completely agree that a lot of these starter jobs would help prime people for later jobs in life. Even Disney is feeling it. Like Ivar left Disney during COVID and now works at Amazon. So a lot of people are not going back. That is a and did I pronounce the name right? Ivar. I'm sorry. I always see the name and I apologize. Help me pronounce. But anyway, this is a great point. This is exactly what I was talking about. People who left for a different trade and are not going back to their original jobs. And Amazon would have been a great one because during the pandemic, you would be able to get a job at a place like that. So, and then you don't have to go back. I've never heard of Coke and coffee. I think the way I make it with 4/5 Diet Pepsi or Coke, it's probably coffee and Coke, but same difference. I went to the Cracker Barrel Saturday night with some of my family, and they were short of help and short of food. They ran out of chicken at 7:30. A lot of places are having problem getting supplies. So yes, this goes along with everything we're talking about. In addition to that, Cracker Barrel was actually having a problem before a pandemic. We went there one night as a family, and I was like, yeah, they're like, we're out of ham, we're out of green beans, we're out of, macaroni and cheese. I think fish. I was like, I turned around, like, what do you have? I did. I was like, what do you have? And it was basically like a lot of the breakfast items, sans the, ham. But yeah, so buyer beware, shopper beware, diner beware. You're going to go out and pay those same prices. And it's not going to be as good. Oh, here's another one. So I didn't get to finish that story about that. So I'm going out. Where did I end up eating? I went to Chipotle. I went to Panera, and we have these grocery stores around here called Ingles, and they make subs and stuff. They're really good. They made Boar's Head, and it's really awesome. I went in there, but there was a line, and I was getting really impatient. I was hungry. I'd worked out. So I looked across the parking lot, and there was a Chinese buffet, and I haven't been to one in a long time. And some guy in the parking lot saw my car. He's like, oh, cool Cobra. He had worked at the grocery store. And at the end, I'm like, how's that Chinese buffet back there? I was by myself. He's like, it's really good. So I went in there. It was 8:15 at night. They closed at 9 p.m. What a disappointment. Oh my goodness. The food was awful. They weren't refreshing anything. So like the sesame chicken was squishy. The green beans I didn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole were all shriveled up and ugly looking. The food was just nasty. The problem is they still charge the full price weekend dinner buffet prices. My argument would be that if they're going to do that with the food, they need to offer like a 10 or 20% discount the last 90 minutes that they're open if they're not going to refresh the food on the buffet. I will tell you that that's one of the good things about Golden Corral is they're not afraid to put a fresh batch of X food out within 15 minutes of closing. What do they do behind the scenes? Do they save that to tomorrow and make a casserole out of it? I have no idea, but they tend to keep it fresh till the end. But this Chinese buffet, that was terrible. I just did not enjoy that dinner at all. So that was not very good. You can buy the Coke that has a coffee in it now for a premium. Yes. Okay. 15 years ago, Coke had Coke Black. It was carbonated coffee. This time they had a Coke coffee drink in a can. I'm telling you, somebody saw me behind Panera. I was like, that's a great idea. I should have patented it. Some places are probably still catching up on deliveries from gas shortage in the South. That I talked about the last 2 weeks, and that continued to be a pain in the rear until a few days ago. Like my car and the motorcycle both use premium gas, and I had the hardest time finding premium gas. I kept going to places, and then some stations had 87, and they didn't have the premium. The Asheville takes the cake for the worst response to the pipeline shutdown. It was nuts here. The gas was so hard to get. I'm so glad that that's over, but the panic was silly because people kept topping off, and instead of it, I never did. I never panicked. I waited, and I just filled the Mustang up this past Saturday. I was like coasting down hills and neutral and doing all kinds of stuff to preserve gas. And then I was filled up. Not only are they paying $5 more an hour, but they are starting off with 3 weeks vacation immediately and benefits. You have to work 10 years at our place to get 3 weeks. I wouldn't go here now to start. Yeah, wow, yeah. 3 weeks. Once you're a tenured employee, you expect 3, sometimes even 4. And so when it gets competitive like that, people are shopping around. when times are good, people, have a choice out there. Taught you great people skills. I guess it did, but that was an interesting thing. I will tell you my anecdotes from Blockbuster. That one of the things that it made me appreciate is one of my first jobs. I was able to sit down. You weren't allowed to sit down at Blockbuster, and your feet, even though I was young, would just get so tired from standing on those fatigue mats. In our case, we laid off close to 800 people when we shut down at the start of COVID. A lot of those people naturally found new employment elsewhere. Now we're incredibly short staffed. Yeah, I know. So that's okay. So that's another bucket. So people are, once again, kind of like Faye was talking about, they switched jobs, they switched to another company. They're doing well now, and they don't want to come back. And everybody's got jobs. So, it's tough. Adrian LaSure, good night now. Try to behave, Mr. Mountain. Don't get in any trouble. I will try not to. And great having you here. I hope you have a wonderful week. I read there's a chicken shortage because Tyson switched the roosters they use not performing as well. That's an actual quote. Thank you for that update, because not Tyson, but I buy Hot Pockets and Lean Pockets and have for years. I know they're not great lunch, but I eat them like a staple for lunch, and I enjoy them. And my favorite ever, and they had for years and years and years, they're made by Nestle, by the way, was the Lean Pocket bacon. No, yeah, chicken bacon in the pretzel shell, or the jalapeno chicken in the pretzel shell. Really, really good. I mean, I like those things. You can't find them. They don't even make them anymore. I guess chicken is like impossible to get. I don't know. So I'm wondering if it's the same. Thank you for that report. I think the supply shortage is in part from the need of truck drivers. And that's another thing, truck drivers for years, kind of loosely following that industry, just, on YouTube and stuff like that, and documentaries, because you guys know I watch all kinds of documentaries. Truck drivers have said for a long time, you shut down truck driving for 1 week and the whole country would shut down. Basically, ... please appreciate truck drivers is what their message was. So, everybody's in, I guess it's one of those times to see what's in, the economics of supply and demand, and whatever's in low supply and high demand is something to be in, because that's probably where the money is. They don't train people anymore like they did years ago. My first job was at Shoney's. And after that, when I got a job, they said they knew I had good training. That is no longer how it is. I imagine so, because as evidenced by my anecdotes about a lot of customer service and checkout, how many times have I gone through a checkout register where a person has kind of just grunted at me? Like, what is this, Star Wars? Like, like just hello, or howdy, something, how you doing? I don't know, but, and just turn it around, try to make somebody else's day better. Be like, hey, how are you doing today? So yeah, I think the training was different. It was more of a crap, it was, but I will say this, customer service is still a key thing in the industries that know how to do it well. They profit big time off of it. For example, Disney World. I know Faye mentioned, I don't know if Faye left or if she's still here, but Disney World had always prided itself on customer service. Now, some will say that the customer service at Disney World has gone down in this, but overall, as a overall experience, the theme parks are always trying to compete all around the world with Disney World, because Disney has terrific service. Like, you run into a cast member and their smiles and they're kind, and they're just, it's exceptional service. And that's why people want to go back there. If you find a local restaurant that's a mom pop and everybody's nice there, you remember that. Even if the food is so-so, you remember the experience. And so any place that can be head and shoulders above in customer service usually will win over people. YouTube, Mr. Mountain, thank you so much for the live stream as always. Absolutely. I hope you have a wonderful week. I don't feel bad. I'm 45 and eat Hot Pockets. I'm sure I'll let my wife know it's okay. I'm telling you, I've been eating Hot Pockets for 20 years probably. So yeah. Tell her that your bodybuilder, Mr. Mountain Man here eats Hot Pockets for lunch. Oh, you're here. Yeah. So the question was about Disney World. Like if, you know, that you were mentioning about Disney World, and I was saying that the customer service, you know, still exists in places because, you know, like they pride themselves on customer service, and usually the places that do tend to exceed and do very well. But recently, there's a lot of places that I just think that they just want a body. You know, can you work? Can you, you know, do this minimal job? Good, you're hired. You know, you start tomorrow. I also hear that people are doing like, even for retail jobs, like signing bonus. And I think I was going through a McDonald's drive-through. Was it McDonald's? There's so much competition. See, McDonald's, they got money to boot. So but I was going through the drive-through. Oh yeah, I remember it. It was the last time I was coming back from Dollywood a couple weeks ago. And we were getting a Happy Meal. And it said on this thing, it was like starting at, I don't know, you know, pretty, you know, $15, $16 an hour. I don't know, something. It was something high. And after 30 days, potential bonus and a raise, you know, it was like, we're going to, you know, as far as fast food restaurants go, we're throwing everything at you. Please come work for us. Our Costco has great customer service. The workers are always seem happy. Yeah. And you know, Sam's Club's pretty good too. They always have a pretty nice door greeter there. We got to get suppers almost ready. Chicken and dumplings. God bless you all. You as well. Thank you for stopping by. Enjoyed it. And you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. Yeah, they do. But even there, it's changed since I worked there in the night. I forgot. Were you a cast member? Faye, I forgot. I should probably know that. But you're right. Like, so I watch a lot of channels like the Diz. I really enjoy the Diz and the Diz Unplugged. And they talk about how they, you know, sometimes that service has gone down as well. I could not work at Disney in those hot costumes and the rules they have to follow. No way. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's pretty interesting. Anybody who likes Disney, there is an entire ecosystem and world of the echelon of YouTubers that exist around that community is incredible and exhaustive, as can be imagined. So from ex-cast members to current cast members to podcasts to discussions to rumor mill and all kinds of stuff. Disney. Absolutely. Hey, Neoka Smith, Chicken and Dumplings. We'll be right over. Hello, everyone. Been a while. Yes, nice to have you here again. Welcome, and hope you're having a wonderful Monday. Yes, worked at MGM when it was known as that, in a candy shop. Oh, yeah. Yeah, MGM. It was MGM Studios, then Disney Studios, and then, yeah, MGM broke off. Still love Disney World. Still have a sweet spot. We did it for so many years and had our annual passes. And you know, a Southern expression, got the good out of Disney when we were down there. I know most McDonald's usually has a bad reputation, but the one down the street from me is really good on service. The one thing about McDonald's is I think comparatively, and listen, I only see this stuff from a distance when walking in the stores and the signs they have posted. Never worked there or any fast food restaurant, but they seem to, you know, be somewhat interested in career growth or at least education. Like a lot of times they tout, we'll pay for your college and all this stuff. They really want to get the young generation to work, to do a good job, to be energetic, and in turn they'll pay, you know, tuition and stuff. Yeah, chicken and dumplings. You know, chicken and dumplings. When you guys have heard me talk about Aunt Granny's at Dollywood, they have chicken and dumplings, which one of our kids absolutely loves. I'm more of a fan of the meat. All right, so let's segue into housekeeping for the week of May the 24th, 2021. So I had talked about one time. Here's one piece of housekeeping. That I was not sure if I wanted to monetize my YouTube channel, that being Mr. Mountain Man. The Eclectic Candy Man, my other YouTube channel, when that hits 1,000 and I hit it, I absolutely will monetize that, because that will get funneled right back into tools. As you all know, if anybody knows what I'm talking about on the Eclectic Candy Man. But on this side of the fence, I wasn't sure. I wanted it to be a choice because I like the community here, and I'm not doing this for the money or it's not full time or anything like that. It's just a hobby. I thought it was my choice. I was like, what if I save my community from having to watch ads? Like that was what I wanted. And I was like, that if that's my choice, I may just keep it like that. And I contemplated, well, if I do monetize, maybe I'll, give a portion to charity or, because again, these weren't my motives, but it took a little odd turn. I was pulling up Mountain Man videos, not logged in from either another account or off the web. And I was pulling up my videos and ads were coming up at the beginning of the videos. And that made me raise an eyebrow. I'm like, why are there ads? I have it turned off. I don't want my community to have to watch ads. They're annoying. And it turns out that YouTube updated their terms of service, and it was clear as day. They said, we have the right to monetize any videos we choose to do. And so that was enough for me to go, well, the heck with that. If they're going to put ads on my videos, I'll monetize it and go that route. So, but I wanted you to understand the backstory so it wasn't confusing. If you had seen ads show up on my channel, I didn't really have a choice. That YouTube was going to do it inevitably, but I said, instead of them getting the revenue, what little there might be, because I'm a small channel, I decided to do that. So anyway, thought I'd bring that up in housekeeping. Let's see here. Oh, let me keep caught up on the comments here. Guess what I caught on YouTube Movies the other night? Last of the Mohicans. Yeah, one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I still get great compliments on my Chimney Rock videos. I hope you enjoyed it. What a fantastic movie. I have some sad news. I just checked, and Nestle has quietly discontinued their line of Lean Pockets this year. No more spicy chicken jalapeno fixes. Oh my goodness. We need to have a moment of silence for the Lean Pockets that have been discontinued. Shh. No, that's terrible. I love those things. Oh man, that stinks. But thank you for looking. Thank you for researching. You know what's crazy is, like, normally I look that stuff up, but I did look it up like a year ago and there was nothing written about it yet. And I was like, oh, it's because of the pandemic. Thank you for that update. YouTube is putting ads on almost any channel. Yes, per the if you look at as a creator yourself, if you look at the last terms of agreement or for being a creator, it was actually on their abstract in the email, said it right there. I know Wendy's used to pay. Oh, and I went out of focus. Let's try come back and go to the right. Come on. Boom. We're good. I know Wendy's used to pay for college, and Chick-fil-A does as well. Chick-fil-A, good restaurant. They do have good service. I don't know how they do it. They go out in the community and they find really great young talent, people that are, in high school or college or whatever, and they have good customer service. I forget about Chick-fil-A. I don't know how they do it. And I said young. Actually, they have some senior citizens working there too. It just seems like everybody that they hire seems to actually have good customer service, or they're continuing to push it. Maybe they don't have tolerance for bad customer service and they let people go. If anybody's worked for Chick-fil-A and knows, let us know. Yes, they put ads in any of them now. So again, that's crazy because it's not my choice. I don't like the ads. I'll tell you, one of the things I might do with the monetization is buy YouTube Premium Red, whatever, because I can't stand watching the ads. I'll be at the gym and put something on in the background, like a bodybuilding video, and ad about Bitcoin, crypto, the credit card comes up. What else comes up all the time? I don't know. Like the crazy one, like, you want to make $1 million bucks, like people off Amazon, some Ponzi scheme sounding. The ads are just nuts. You must be having some computer issues, Foxy. That showed up 3 times. Yeah, I did see that show up 3 times. The way I see it, if they're placing ads on a video, that they're going to push that video to more people. Now, that is a true statement too. So if there's a silver lining from growing a YouTube channel, I understand YouTube. Google. Google didn't upset me. If that's their policy, that's their policy. I just thought it would be a choice, but they're also a public company that needs to make money. And so I totally get that. I mean, so if something helps them be successful, like one of my videos, and they want to put ads, that's fine. I just didn't know. I already said the story. So you could always put the money if you wanted in a different webcam. Yeah. So the interesting thing is that I did it a little unusually. I bought like a lot of like upper end or better equipment for my channel as a newer channel. Not everybody does that. And so I kind of came out of the gates with, I mean, like this microphone and this camera is actually really good. It's just the problem is my bandwidth, which you all know the mountain story about that. But yeah, so a few of my buddies have YouTube channels do exactly that. They recycle it back into the channel for the equipment. And there's still a couple of things, but my channel's not growing that much. So anyway, I just wanted to let folks know we have YouTube Premium, so it makes it really hard to see when a great channel like yours gets monetized. But I bet when a YouTube Red person clicks on a video, there is a certain credit that goes towards that channel because they're a premium member. So some of their subscription cost probably goes towards it. That's my guess about it. Sometimes they have so many ads I click off. I always wondered if the YouTuber did this for more money. I will stay on yours no matter the ads. Well, I appreciate that, Rita. That's very kind. But feel free after 5 seconds, even on my videos, just to hit skip ads. You don't have to watch that stuff. Like sometimes I'll take, I was about to say sometimes I take a shower. I always take a shower, but sometimes when I'm taking a shower, I'll put a YouTube video on in the background so I can listen. Well, sure enough, after 2 minutes, a video will pop up, but I'm in the shower, excuse me, an ad it won't be a 10-second ad. It'll be like one of those like 5-minute infomercial type things. And so I'm sitting there listening to some ad and I'm like thinking when I get out, I'm like, well, that person just got a bunch of money off me. Keep having issues since my phone internet's got cut. Yes. Chick-fil-A has a great spicy chicken sandwich. Maybe that will help. Yes. Boy, we're on the same wavelength tonight. They do have a great spicy chicken sandwich. I got that during the pandemic. I stopped by Chick-fil-A. Man, I'm getting hungry and I already ate dinner. I think I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat when I'm done. I'm hungry. Yeah, they have a great spicy chicken sandwich. In fact, I think I could eat about 3 of those right now. Yum, yum, yum. If you go premium, you won't regret it. And I know I spend money on, cell phone and Netflix and all this stuff. And I'm like, why don't I spend like the $10 or $12 a month for YouTube Premium? I should have. Just so you know, the ham and cheddar hot pocket with the croissant crust is where it's at. Yes. I think I have had that before. I will try that one again. I used to like the chicken ones. The ones that I'm getting now are the high protein steak and cheddar hot pockets. They come in a black box. They're pretty good. They really are pretty good. Try that out. Yes, you're hungry. I'm hungry. Let's have I think I got some of that Papa John's pizza left. Actually, I'm kind of craving chicken. All right, so let me get back to the housekeeping. What's the other thing? How much time do we? Okay, we'll find. I only had one picture this week, which is a weak sauce by me, Mr. Mountain Man, with Instagram here. I have one picture. It's a good picture. Carolina blue skies. Can you guys see that? Let's see if we can see that. Did I share it? Yes. Carolina blue skies. Took that, facing up. And I mean, that's where, the color of the state and like the Tar Heels, UNC Chapel Hill, that kind of light bluish color. That's just a beautiful sky. So, yeah, anyway, if you want to follow me on Instagram, the last piece of housekeeping is also, I do have that other channel, the Eclectic Candyman, which I did, release a video this week, ad hoc. Actually, in a 7-day span, I think I released 2. One about a set of wrenches I bought and or acquired, I should say, I did buy her, but you don't go to the store to buy these old-fashioned Craftsman one, and then something about some trim work. All right, so let's go to news and notes for the week of May the 24th, 2021. I should have like a little song like let's see. I like the Wendy's spicy chicken sandwiches too. Yum. I had a shredded chicken and coney dog from the ice cream shop. Excellent. Love that sandwich. What did Rita say? Oh, Rita said the spicy chicken sandwiches. Yes. I saw and meant to comment about the pretty colors. Yes, it was a beautiful picture of the sky. Let's get into news and notes of the week for May the 24th, 2021. Let me go ahead and get that fired up here. Share. And the first article of the evening is sorry, I always read this stuff. 10 tips for visiting Asheville with the kids. Now, before any of you go, I don't want to hear this, I don't have kids or something like that. Two things are going to be interesting about this one. One, I'm going to compare it to me as a father with kids, seeing if I'm right because I live here. This article was posted or created by somebody who did not live here and travels with their kids. And the second thing is, I would say, honestly, just about every single thing in here is not really just kids. It could be for anybody who visits Asheville. So this was an article from the Lemon Bowl. As I swallow the water. Not that I could oh, thank you, Foxy, for the Mr. Mountain _man Instagram account handle. I don't follow this Lemon Bowl site. It's just it happened to come up because of Asheville. Number one, not in any particular order. First tip: suggest you fly into the Asheville Regional Airport instead of one of the larger airports located farther out. ... That'd be Charlotte, North Carolina. I wouldn't consider Raleigh. That's even farther, but mostly Charlotte or Greenville, Spartanburg. That would be the next. Actually, Greenville, Spartanburg is closer than Charlotte. Just 10 miles, 15 minutes from downtown. This small airport is a dream for parents with little ones. The security lines are short and the rental cars are located right out of the side entrance. Listen, a little tip from all the flying that I've done, especially when I lived down in Florida from a smaller airport. Anytime you get to fly out of a smaller airport that only has, a half dozen to a dozen gates, it's like flying out of an executive airport. There were times, I think here in Asheville, I have set records from like the time I left the house to the time I walked through the airport with TSA pre, going straight to the gate. And it actually was my zone being called. Like, we're talking like 20 minutes from like the house to inside an airplane or something like that. It's just crazy. It's so cool when you can fly out of a small airport. Oh, somebody's leaving, right? AZ Rock. Thanks everyone for nice chat. Thank you, Mr. Mountain, for all you do. Enjoy the rest of the week. Hit the thumbs up, everyone, if you haven't already. Appreciate that, AZ Rock. Yes. Number two, take advantage of the great outdoors. This is why I was saying this isn't just for kids. This is the obvious one. I mean, if you're coming to Asheville, you're coming to the mountains, you don't have to be outdoors. And I want to make that point because a lot of people are like, nah, I don't like hiking. I want to sit there on the top of a hotel in downtown Asheville, sip a drink and look at the mountains. Or I just want to walk one block to a restaurant I like and stay at my hotel. Or I want to go place to place in a car and I don't want to walk. You can do really anything you want. But if you do enjoy the great outdoors, this is a great place to be. My third tip, this one is kind of kid directed. Stay at a family-friendly hotel with plenty of kid amenities. I actually don't think this has anything to do with Asheville. This is kind of generic. Anywhere we go, this needs to be the case. You need somewhere that has like a pool and stuff like that. So it says, we stayed in the Executive King at the Crown Plaza Resort, Asheville. Oh, that's crazy. Crown Plaza Resort. That's the same one that I stayed at with my wife and my sister the first time we came to Asheville and went to Chimney Rock and stuff. That's crazy. Which was perfect for our family of 4. The small partition section of the room was ideal for separating our noisy 3-year-old from our 18-month-old at nap time and at bedtime. We also loved having a fridge in the room for cold drinks, fruit, and yogurt. Absolutely. Number 4 is to eat at least one meal at Posana restaurant located in historic Pack Square in the heart of downtown Asheville. I'm not sure on this one about this specific tip right here. I think this was maybe a one-off great customer experience restaurant that they had, and they're just cherry picking it. I don't know why this one particular restaurant happens to be the best, but nonetheless, it's their blog. Featuring regional cuisine with an emphasis on farm to plate, co-owner and executive chef Peter Pillay not only got my husband to eat goat cheese, but he was converted into the pimiento cheese lover. Who knew it was so dang delicious? Added bonus, his own kids, self-proclaimed foodies, helped him design the kids' menu. My boys devoured their seared trout and marinated chicken. Tip number 5 is to visit Chimney Rock Park, located just 25 miles from downtown Asheville. For just $8, you can rent a backpack children's carrier, which our 18-year-old month love. My husband was a trooper and carried him up all 400 plus steps to the top of Chimney Rock. Believe me when I tell you, it was worth the effort. The mountain views and fresh air were completely breathtaking and a moment my family will never forget. You know it. Number 6, my 6th kid-friendly tip for visiting Asheville is to enjoy one of the many restaurants that offer outdoor seating. Not only is it great for energetic toddlers who don't always love to sit still, but these open-air environments provide just the right amount of background noise to drown out any noisy boys who might be late for nap time. Number 7, 7th tip. Allocate 2 to 3 hours to explore the world-famous Biltmore Estate. Again, this is for anybody. Before arriving, we hadn't wrapped our minds around just how expansive and large-scale the Biltmore is for families. If you're a fan of downtown Abbey like I am, the Biltmore is a must-see during your stay. To make the most of your time with the littles, suggest going during slower times that happen to be in the afternoon. Number 8, for dinner with a view, my 8th tip is to head to Edison Craft Ales and Kitchen, located inside the Omni Grove Park Inn, featuring picturesque views of the mountains and a real piece of American history. This meal was the highlight of my trip. The Omni Park Grove Inn in general has most amazing views of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Tip number 9, start your day at Green Safe Cafe. From farm fresh squeezed juices to innovative organic egg dishes to a kids menu full of healthy options. And I will say that in Asheville, there is a lot of like that farm to table, green, health, eating clean type restaurants. The last and final trip for visiting Asheville with kids is simple but crucial. Be flexible. I think this is for any trip. This isn't Asheville. Traveling with toddlers and active preschoolers is not always a walk in the park. Try to have an open mind. Remember that if you're stressed out and frazzled, your kids will pick up on that energy and be stressed out and frazzled too. So that was a pretty good article. I'm not sure if anybody else thought it was good. We had like 5 people drop since I started reading the news. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting. I think about 6 or 8 of those tips were good for anybody. And I think the other ones were also, pretty specific to kids, but also could be generic. So I thought that was a good article. So I'm glad that they did that. A couple of good comments here. For tips and tricks on your car, house, for tools and how to use and organize them, visit Mr. Mountain Man's alternate channel, The Eclectic Candyman. Yes, thank you very much. I've been seeing a lot of videos of Asheville and other parts of North Carolina lately. It's like one person put a video and they piled in with videos. I haven't seen really good ones yet. That's one of the things it's tough because I have so many things I want to do here, but I just don't have the time. And I know I could rally this region and be kind of the star channel in the area, but I just don't have the bandwidth right now. So that's a little frustrating, but yeah. Tip number 11, spend enough time at the Sierra Nevada Brewery. You won't even remember you have kids. Sierra Nevada Brewery is fantastic. Do plan on seeing a video from me there maybe this year. This was on my list of to-dos. I've actually been there a couple of times. It's not far and really close to the airport. And it's pretty cool because Sierra Nevada Brewing is a big beer company. And if you turn that box over, it says Sierra Nevada, California, and also it says Mills River, North Carolina, which is, in the greater Asheville area. So it's kind of neat that, Asheville, has a big brewery like that. Yeah, makes me want to take a road trip this week. It's great. There's a lot of, if people are into beer, Asheville is a very, very good place. A lot of microbreweries here and a lot of good food, a lot going on in Asheville. All right, next up. This was from the Citizen Times a few days ago. Decision made on illegal dump on the Blue Ridge Parkway, Mountains to Sea Trail. All right, so let me explain what the Mountains to Sea Trail is for those that don't know. If you look at that little map in the picture, it is exactly that. It goes from the mountains all the way to the Outer Banks. It's this trail that is a combination of some on the Blue Ridge Parkway and some official trail and some other ways to actually take it. And one of the problems is here in Asheville, that bottom right-hand picture with that little tunnel that goes under, the road there. And in that vicinity, there's been a lot of illegal dumping of garbage, which is horrible that people would do that. I don't know why people do that stuff, but they do. And so that's what this article was about. It says a cleanup and trail reroute. So you see that trail, they're thinking about the long and the short of it is they want to move this trail onto the physical Blue Ridge Parkway. This part of the trail here was a separate area, which to me seems cooler, right? Like to have a dedicated trail that cars can't go on. That seems like the optimal choice. If you could have like a 600 mile long trail that was just dedicated to bikers and hikers would be amazing. And I've seen on PBS North Carolina Weekend on the other side of the state, this trail, parts of different counties, do it up, and they have just beautiful dedicated trails or bridges and stuff for the it's really cool for this part. So yeah, a cleanup and trail reroute are underway for a portion of the Mountains to Sea Trail and Blue Ridge Parkway in East Asheville that has become an illegal dump over the past few months, as well as a public safety concern for trail experts. The juncture is a jurisdictional mess. The trail runs through a tunnel under Interstate 40 before it crosses Azalea Road and a set of railroad tracks. Putting it at the crossroads of the National Park Service, North Carolina State Parks, the nonprofit Friends of the Mountains to Sea Trail, Buncombe County, the City of Asheville, and the North Carolina Department of Transportation. So if you've ever heard of the expression, it's like playing they're playing hot potato. They're just bouncing around the responsibility. Nobody wants to take care of it. There's all these different jurisdictions, and there's really nobody that wants to take responsibility for it. For a while, representatives from the 7 different agencies deferred jurisdiction between one another, again, playing hot potato. City staff collected trash from the tunnel area, including numerous TVs, bagged trash, and furniture, and disposed of them at the county transfer station. The city doesn't have a firm plan in place to ensure the trash doesn't pile up again, but said the plan to connect with nearby property owners to identify ways to keep illegal dumpers from accessing the area. The city is spearheading the cleanup moving forward with county support. Once the trash is gone, the next step will be to move the trail from the tunnel up onto the parkway to alleviate safety concerns. The Blue Ridge Parkway is taking the lead on that step. They polled volunteers from the CMC, representatives from the State Park Service, and friends of the MST group so they could pick a time to talk next week. At the meeting, they'll likely initiate the process of moving the trail from the tunnel up onto the parkway. Though generally, the organization is worried about the opposite. This is what I was talking about. They want to move portions of the trail off the parkway so hikers don't get hit by cars. If this Mountains to Sea trail is on the physical Blue Ridge Parkway, that makes you susceptible to cars. So that's why it's nice to have a dedicated separate path. The number of users of the trail statewide has really been going up. So there are places where the trail is on the parkway, where there's a way to get off the parkway so that people aren't walking on the road. But in this scenario, shifting the trail from the tunnel up onto the road seems like the safest option. I don't know why they can't keep the dedicated trail and just figure out who the dumpers are and try to fix it. But it looks like there's graffiti and trash, and so it's kind of a mess. Hey, all about the Smokies. Hope you are having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Fantastic content on your channel. Everybody make sure to check that out. I know you're spending a lot of time over there in East Tennessee, and that is fantastic. I wish there was a way that this trash would fly right back into the cars like you see in the cartoons. Wouldn't that be this? I mean, we talk a lot on this channel about the aspects of preserving, whether that's Great Smoky Mountains National Park, the Blue Ridge Parkway, North Carolina. This is another instance where people are, just being awful about the whole thing, whether it's vandalism or dumping or trash. I talked about last year on the Pisgah National Forest, that dumpster that was overflowing, and people just continued to just keep throwing trash on top of it like a maid was going to come by and fix it. I don't understand people's mentality. And the same thing's happening in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, as I talked about at Metcalf Bottoms Park, and how disgusting the bathrooms and the garbage situation is, just nasty. Yeah. Oh, and here's a comment that Mr. Carlos knows directly, probably because it goes through Raleigh. Part of the MST, that's Mountain to Sea Trail, further east is along roadways. It could be dangerous walking. I hope they can figure it out. Yeah. So that's the irony of this article, is that there's one instance where they have a dedicated off the road trail that they're actually going to have to move back on the road to alleviate the dumping. Because it's more hidden going under I-40, there's no presence there, I don't know that much about surveillance and things like that, but I wonder if they could have installed some. But how do you police that? This isn't really my forte. North Carolina used to be one of the cleanest states ever, but people just do not care anymore. Yeah, I know. And it's, but at least stories like this give light to it. And the positive part of this article is that they're going to try to mitigate it. So hopefully it's on the up and up, and we see some cleanliness, especially in that area, because that looks awful. All right, next story. So a drought enters North Carolina after a long absence. I kind of noticed that recently. We are not in the mountains here yet. So if you see, the mountains are here on the left most counties of the state. We're still in white. We're not having a problem, but the eastern side of the state and the southeast side are in what is considered a moderate drought or abnormally dry. And just a quick part from the article. By the way, you can get to this map real time at ncdrought.org. That's www.ncdrought.org. It's updated daily. Moderate drought has returned to North Carolina for the first time since November 2019, although it is currently relegated to 12 counties in the southeast part of the state. Parts of the 38 counties in the eastern and central NC are experiencing abnormally dry conditions and could reach drought status if dry conditions persist. While 2020 ended up becoming our state's second wettest year on record, the 2021 started with wet weather through the winter. We've seen that participation pattern reverse this spring, from having too much rain, suddenly not enough across much of North Carolina. The drought map is updated at 9 a.m. every Thursday. I'm sorry, I said daily. It's updated every Thursday. I missed that point. Yeah, I noticed that ever since spring came around, because I was trying to plant some grass seed and do some other stuff, we haven't been getting any rain, or very little. We had a couple of real heavy downpours, and that was it. So really, April and May, we haven't gotten much rain. So this didn't surprise me when I saw this article. Hopefully we get some rain and this subsides, because again, last year was a pretty good year. We had, quite a bit of rain, but sometimes it can go on the other end of that spectrum. Like the French Broad River here in Asheville can flood, and that causes big problems for low-lying areas around the 2,000 feet elevation. Wrapping it up, how's the weather? So you do see rain icons every day, but another weather that I checked had sun almost every day. If you notice the rain chances, 40, 20, 30, 60, 40, 20, good chance that many of those days, either little to no rain. So we'll just have to wait and see. Today was beautiful, although I didn't spend too much time outside, but it was a beautiful day. So yes, let's see. The park services are probably having the same staffing issues. Yeah, I know, at least last year. And, I don't understand that dynamic, the national parks versus the paid parks, how enough money and staff. But the reality is there's kind of this ingrained, supposed to be knowledge of this kind of community handshake between the patrons that visit the parks and the people who take care of them, that everybody does their part to take care of them. Not so much. I think people leave the populated areas of, like I've talked about before, of Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, and they think they're going to a private place where they're going to be served, and it's a I'm a loss of words. It's a sense of entitlement, and they just, this is my vacation, this is my trip, so I'm just going to park here and destroy these flowers and dump my garbage and do this and do that, and this is my vacation. That's what the park's here for. While I'm at it, I'm going to carve my initials in this cabin that I was here, so everybody will know. That kind of stuff is just terrible. And so you think that this mutual respect would exist, but it's the old adage, like one bad apple ruins it for everybody. Like, I bet you 95% of people, 98% of people are great, really take care of things and have a good mind, but it doesn't take much. It only takes, a couple hundred people or a few tens of people to really, dump some garbage and do some vandalism and do some bad stuff that, really can accentuate the problem. So I think on an optimistic side, I don't think it's the masses, but I do think there are enough people that contribute to the problem. If you need some rain, we'll gladly send it your way from East Tennessee. Yes. Hey, Kentucky girls, sending in the rain. Welcome to the tail end of this Mountain Man Monday live stream. Hope you are doing well and having a great start to your Monday. We are getting a lot of rain for a while now. It's dry for several days. We were getting a lot. Yeah. Yep. And a lot of times what you get, Rita, ends up over here in Asheville after it's visited Nashville. People treat national parks like a theme park. Yeah. And even at a theme park, like I get it is true. Like you see at the theme parks, I think people get away from it because like at Disney World, we were talking about earlier, people walk around with those like trash picker upper things, those sticks with the grip, the claw type things, constantly picking up everything so that the patrons don't have to see that. Nobody's doing that in the gazillion acres and square miles of national parks. So if somebody wants to throw their McDonald's bag out the window, it could sit there for a long time, out on a national park. People gave it up. There won't be any parks worth going to. Well, let me tell you how that works out. So I'll pick on the Great Smoky Mountains National Park because it's so well known. When you leave west of Gatlinburg through downtown Gatlinburg and you go by the visitor center there, the Sugarlands Visitor Center, and then you go out there by the Laurel Falls, I believe, and which is like the most popular, short hike because it's basically just a stone's throw from Gatlinburg. That first strip of 5 miles, maybe 8 miles out of Gatlinburg is probably the worst that the traffic gets. That was another one at that Laurel Falls hike where I had seen people just destroying like the grounds on the side because there wasn't enough parking and just making parking out of places that shouldn't have been, and the mud that was coming up. This was last summer on one of the live streams. So what's going to happen is you'll end up getting people that will kind of like channels like this and others that'll find the off the beaten path places that have more preserved nature, and people will stay away from the more commercial. I call it commercial. It's not commercial because there's no commercial property, but the more widely attended, like it'd be like Cades Cove, Laurel Falls, Klingman's Dome, stay away from that stuff and go to, the lesser known areas that are still official. You're not making like a raw hike, but you might be going on the back side of the park. People have to realize, or going to the North Carolina side of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Everybody just thinks Gatlinburg and East Tennessee, but the Great Smoky Mountains National Park is massive. You can go down there by Fontana Dam and in that part, and like where I was with the Tail of the Dragon and some of that area, Great Smoky Mountains National Park is down that way too. So, it provides an opening for people to find, kind of the lesser known areas. I see you guys talking in the background about what between Foxy Wolf and Kentucky Girl, but I hope things are going well. Some people are just low class, plain and simple. I know, and I don't understand manners. I mean, and I don't think this is a new generation thing. I just think that it spans you are how you're raised, and it doesn't matter. It knows no bounds. Like I was here in Asheville, I saw some guy in a pretty nice car open up the moonroof, take the wrapper off cigarettes in a heavily populated area near a grocery store and fling it out the top of the moonroof onto the road with tons of cars and people by. You would think most people want to litter. They think they're getting away with it. Is anybody looking? Oh, let me chuck this out the window. This person was just like, well, like literally, like I watched them from my car and like no sense of did they cared. What they were processing in their mind was that this is normal to do. Like the outside is my garbage can and I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to throw it out the window. I don't understand it, but I mean, we learn stuff and even in school growing, don't be a litter bug and all that stuff, it gets ingrained in you. Yeah, about the tetanus, just bad things going on. I hope you guys are doing well. Just that conversation going on in the background. So, yeah, so there you have it. That is the news and notes for the week of May the 24th, 2021. Getting back at it to wrap up this live stream. I think we've had some great conversations tonight. And so I think probably I'm going to wrap it up here. We're right at an hour and 30 minutes and get going to the rest of the week. I hope everybody has a wonderful and safe and happy week. And a couple more comments. Makes you want to toss a milkshake through his moonroof. I know. Like, I wanted to honk, but you never know these days. Somebody can like pull a gun or try to come over to your car. And I remember when I was a kid, I was 16 years old and I irritated some guy that was in another car. He came out and started to bang his fist on my window. And like total road rage, got really mad. So yeah, people go crazy on the road. Great live stream tonight. I hope things can slow down for you soon and maybe you and the family can get out, enjoy things, and maybe sneak us in a video. The video is made. You're going to enjoy the video. I'm going to get working on that. And that's the plan. This weekend, I would love to just enjoy the family. Like I mentioned, my sister will be coming soon, so get to enjoy that, spend some time, and not have to be like, for example, one of the toilets we have is leaking, and it just started. Not leaking externally, but internally. It's like running all the time. But the mechanics in the toilet are decades old, and there's no adjusting it. So that video I have on the Eclectic Handyman of replacing all the stuff on a Kohler toilet, I literally watched my own video, and I need to replace it. The problem is if I punt on that project, it's sitting there running nonstop, and it's going to cost me money on the water bill. So I either need to turn that toilet off and stop using it until I can get to that project or fix the toilet. So I don't know. It seems like stuff like that's always coming on. Great live stream as always. I appreciate that, Big Daddy. Have a great week and a holiday weekend, everyone. Stay safe. Yes, if anybody's traveling anywhere, please be safe because the roads are going to be very busy. You know, the economy and everything's picking up. So if you're traveling on the interstate, you know, don't try to get to A to B super fast and save 10 minutes. It's not going to be worth it. There's a lot of people be driving crazy out there. Great being able to pop in and listen. Great chatting with you all and great having you here, Dr. J. Thanks for the great live stream tonight, Mr. Mountain. Have a good night. You as well. Appreciate it. And thank you for the update on the lean pockets. I appreciate that. Yes, Kentucky girl. Glad you were able to make it in late. Ted and Deborah Harrison, and you enjoyed your Crystal Coast vacation. Enjoy the weekend. Remember what it is all about. Absolutely. We will. Memorial Day is on Monday for sure. Everyone have a safe and wonderful week and enjoy your holiday. Remember what the holiday is all about. Absolutely. Definitely. Great live streamer. I appreciate all the comments, compliments, and great conversations we had. Everybody have a wonderful, great week and a long weekend. And until the next live stream, take care and good night. We'll see you later.